Image copyright Getty Images Image caption President Trump has drawn criticism for holding the event at Mount Rushmore, which depicts four former U.S. presidents. U.S. President Donald Trump will visit Mount Rushmore on Friday night to mark the 4th of July celebrations in the U.S., despite concerns over a sharp rise in coronavirus cases. A fireworks display will be held at the South Dakota landmark, which features the carved faces of four U.S. presidents. Some 7,500 people are expected to attend the pre-Independence Day event. Mr. Trump, who has promised a tremendous the 3rd of July, is set to give a speech. Masks will be available but not required, and social distancing will not be strictly enforced. Mr. Trump's visit has raised fears over the potential spread of COVID-19, wildfire worries linked to the fireworks, and protests from Native American groups. Activists have long taken issue with the Mount Rushmore monument, which was built on land sacred to the Sioux tribe. Two of the former presidents depicted, George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, were slave owners. The decision to hold an event there is controversial at a time when statues of Confederate generals and slave owners are being re-evaluated, and in many cases pulled down, amid anti-racism protests. Speaking to Fox News this week, South Dakota Republican Governor Kristi Noem said free face masks would be available at the outdoor event for people who chose to wear them, but we won't be social distancing. We told those folks that have concerns that they can stay home, she said. What is Trump expected to say? Mr. Trump will deliver a speech in the shadow of George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln, whose heads are carved into the granite of Mount Rushmore. A Trump campaign official said the president, who has condemned the removal of statues by protesters, will rail against people trying to tear down the United States. The left-wing mob and those practicing cancel culture are engaging in totalitarian behavior that is completely alien to American life, and we must not accept it, the official said, summarizing Mr. Trump's expected comments. Image copyright Getty Images Image caption Mr. Trump is expected to make a speech in the shadow of Mount Rushmore. These will be the first fireworks at Mount Rushmore in over a decade, after a ban was imposed over environmental concerns. Mr. Trump has predicted a fireworks display like few people have seen in South Dakota, a state he won in the 2016 U.S. election. The monument is surrounded by a national forest and some fear the display could set off wildfires in the dry brush, though local officials have said the risk is low. Friday's event is the latest to be held by President Trump during the coronavirus pandemic, as he attempts to fire up his supporters ahead of November's presidential election.